Hello dear students, I am Dundappa Patil. In the previous class, we discussed regarding linear communication model. Okay, in that again we studied regarding different types of linear communication models. Those are Aristotle model, Shannon-Weaver's model, and Berlow's SMCR model. Now, let us start with the second type of transaction model of communication, that is a transactional model of communication. So second one is transactional model of communication. In transactional model of communication, let us see what is transactional model. Transactional model of communication is the exchange of messages between sender and receiver, where each take turns to sender or receive messages. So in transactional model, receiver and sender play each role, once a sender, once a receiver. So both participate in the sending the message and receiving the message. Both sender and receiver are known as communicators and their role reverses each time in the communication. So here in the transactional model of communication, the role of sender and receiver interchange each other. So their roles reverses. The model is mostly used for interpersonal communication and is also called a circular model of communication. So this transactional model of communication used for interpersonal communication. The process of this transactional model of communication is looks like this. Sender and behavior, that is a process of communication, that is encoding, then channel, message, again channel, decoding, and receiver receives the message. So these are the elements which are included in the transactional model of communication. So this communication can be humans or machines, but these communicators can be humans or machines, but humans are taken as a communicators in this article to analyze general communication between humans. So this is not only between humans but also machines takes place this kind of communication. Let us see. Since both sender and receiver are necessary to keep the communication alive, and both are necessary to this communication. So transactional model, sender and receiver are necessary to keep the communication to be alive. If there is no sender or a receiver, this communication process will not be continued. So they depend on each other. So sender and receiver are interdependent to each other. So everyday talk and interactions are also a form of transactional model of communication. So day to day, whatever the conversation taken place between the people is also example of transactional model of communication. Communication between people who know each other is more efficient as they share same social systems. So when people know each other, their communication is more efficient and more specific target oriented. So because they share the same social systems and the same practices they used to have in day-to-day life. So for that reason, this kind of communication between people who know each other is more efficient as they share same social system. So transactional model of communication is more efficient and reliable of communicated message, also depends on the medium used. So Efficient and reliability of communicated message also depends on the medium used. So what kind of medium they are going to use also play very important role in the efficiency and reliability of that message. That is transactional model of communication. Next, for example, this here in the last point, efficiency and reliability of communicated message also depends on the medium used. Yes, for example, the same message might not be issued by a person the same way when it is sent through a phone and when it is provided face to face. So when people having a conversation face to face is more effective than they are having a conversation in the phone calls. So the efficiency and reliability of communicated message also depends on the medium they are going to use. So it's important to have a face-to-face communication rather than some mediums. Next, say factors affecting transactional model of communication. What are those factors? So here we have some social context and cultural context and relational context of factors which are affecting transactional model of communication. In social context, context is communication refers to the norms, values and laws. So restrictions of a society to communicate within a specific limit. It also includes the rules and rules that binds people's ability to communicate. Society shapes the way a person communicates. So in a particular community or society, in social context or boundary, there is some norms, values and laws they are supposed to follow whenever they are to having a conversation with the people. So some examples regarding these social context are whenever meeting with the people, greeting people when meeting, thanking and apologizing for if there is any mistakes they have made. So such kind of communications make rich of their communication. And next one is cultural context. In cultural context of communication, what we can see, cultural context is the lifestyle and identity of a person, which is a caste, class, race, ethnicity, gender and etc. are the context which promotes communication in the transactional model. So if two people are from the same cultural group, obviously they will have better communication with each other, because it is depends upon their confidence and beliefs. So definitely they are going to have a better communication. People become unsure of themselves when they communicate with intercultural groups because lack of confidence and beliefs. So it's also play important role in transactional model of communication, that is cultural context. Next one, relational context. Next one is relational context. Okay. Relational context, here in this relational history and the manners they have speak each other play important role. A person talks with an old friend differently than a strange person. Yes, if we have a friend, we have a good relationship with him, we has good relations with our friends. So we have very effective communication with each other, and they are going to understand our each actions and each tone of speech, the variations in our speech tone. So they understand every tone and words we are going to speak with our friends. While it is with strangers, which means a new person, it is not possible the way we speak with or spoke with the person which we know very well. So that is a relational context also play a very important role in the transactional model of communication. So this relational context also affect that communication process. So these are some um, factors affecting transactional model of communication. Next, see some difference between transactional and other communication model. In a transaction model, first one is used for interpersonal communication. So transactional model of communication is going to be used for interpersonal communication, whereas the other form of communication models are used for interpersonal, intrapersonal, and a group or mass communication. So this transactional model of communication is only for interpersonal communication. And second difference is senders and receivers are known as communicators in this transactional model of communication. They interchange their roles. Sender will become a receiver and receiver will become a sender. Whereas in other communication models, senders and receivers are different people. The third difference is the transactional model includes the role of a context and environment. So here the context and environment, which environment they are also play an important role in transactional model, whereas the role of context and environment are not mentioned in the other models. Okay, so next difference is transactional model includes noise and communication barriers as a factors, whereas not necessarily have the concept of noise in other models, that is the linear model, and also maybe in the next model, that is interactive or interactional model, which is going to be discussed in later. Next difference is talks about non-verbal communications, which is transactional model talks about non-verbal communication, whereas the other models ignores the non-verbal communications. They give importance to the verbal communications. And last one difference is simultaneous feedback in transactional model of communication, whereas other models feedback comes later in interaction model and it is not included in the linear model. Yes, in linear model there is no concept of feedback, whereas in the interactional model it is later, it is feedback is very late. Okay, these are some difference points regarding difference between transactional model as well as other models. Okay, next, interactive model of communication. So next one is interactive model of communication. Interactive model, also known as a convergence model, it deals with exchange of ideas and messages taking place both ways, from sender to receiver and vice versa. Okay, so here also the communication process take place between humans or machines in a both verbal or non-verbal way. Here verbal as well as non-verbal way. This is relatively the new model of communication for new technologies like websites today, whichever we are going to using nets, mobile as well as some other devices. So human computer interaction is also now considered as interactive communication, as the model is circular where the senders interchange every time. So social media, interactive marketing, and user generated contents, ATM machines, online shopping, chat rooms, etc. are other examples of interactive communication model. These are some examples of the interactive models of communication. So concept of interactive model. The message formation of both sources is affected by their field of experience. Field of experience is a communication pattern. Alteration factors like culture, social, psychology, situation, and channels used. So these are some factors affecting the communication model, whichever going to impact on the communication. So this kind of experience play a important role in this concept of interactive model. Extended field of experience initiates conversations. So extended field of experience initiates a conversation, and conversation in turn expands the communicator's field of experience. So all these factors also affect the message interpretation. The model also has a concept of noise and barriers to communications like language, network problem. So these are some barriers of communications, etc., which affect the communication process. So this is about interactive model of communication. There is some criticism regarding the interactive model of communication. Let's see. Feedback is not simultaneous and can take a long time, as this model is mostly used for internet. So here feedback is not simultaneously, suddenly the sender will not get feedback. So this is not good communication model. So communication is not taken as a dynamic. Communication is not taken as dynamic. It predicts communication to follow the same pattern always. So communication is not according to interactive model, because it is websites, some machines. So it is not a dynamic, as human beings have a conversation with each other, and they have a rational thinking, rational opinions, thoughts, different thoughts, which instantly occurs and responds to the person who having a conversation with each other. So this interactive model of communication, we are not able to have such kind of communication. So this is second criticism. Difference between interactive model and other models of communication. First one is indirect and slow feedback, where interactive model of communication has indirect and slow feedback, very slow here, and other models of communication, that is direct and fast feedback. Just we have seen in the transactional model of communication, their feedback is very quick. So feedback is a whole new process of communication. In interactive model of communication, feedback is a new process of communication, whereas in other models communication, feedback is a part of single communication process for a new media. So this interactive model is for media communication. For all other kinds of media like print, news, in other models it is print and other kinds of media like print and news, all those things. Fourth point is no engagement of sender and receiver in the communication. what interactive model of communication says, no engagement of sender and receiver in communication, whereas in other communication models engagement of sender and receiver in communication necessary. We have seen in the transactional model of communication, if there is no sender, there is no communication process take place in transaction model as well as linear model. Sender and receiver is equally important, yes, and in other models of communication, sender is important and overpowering than receiver. In linear model of communication, we have seen the sender play a major role. So in interactive model of communication, sender and receiver have a equal importance. So last point is interactive model of communication, it can become linear if the receiver does not respond. So in an interactive model of communication, if there is no response from the receiver, it converted as a linear communication. So the other models of communication, the receiver is bound to give some kinds of response, verbal or non-verbal, that is in the transactional model of communication we have seen. So these are some difference between interaction or interactive model of communication and other models of communication. So this is all about, we have studied regarding different types of communication models. Those are linear communication model, that is one-way communication, and transactional communication model, that is both way communication model. It has have a equal importance of sender and receiver, and it has a feedback concept. And third one is interactive or interactional model of communication. In this we have communication between human beings as well as machines, and websites today it is a new model of communication. Okay, now let's see barriers to effective communication. Barriers to effective communication. Some common barriers to effective communications are here we have listed below. The use of language. So the first barrier is use of the language which is the sender going to be used in his conversation. Overcomplicated, unfamiliar or technical terminologies, if he used in his message, it will not be understood by the receiver, then barrier exists. So sender need to aware the language known by the receiver. So first one is language barrier. Next, emotional barriers and unthinkables or taboos, means some people may find it difficult to express their emotions, and some topics may be completely off limits. So sender supposed to know his limits, what kind of information and what kind of words he is supposed to use in the message, as well as sometimes emotion. Sometimes sender may not be able to know how to express his emotions in the form of message. So these are some emotional barriers as well as some unthinkables or taboos. Next, lack of attention of the receiver or sender, or interest, lack of interest, or distractions, some disturbances from surrounding of a sender as well as the receiver, it is also a barrier. And also irrelevance to the receiver, if the message whatever the sender is have a conversation with the receiver or sending a message with some any other form of words, verbal communication, if the message is not relating to the message which is he is having with the receiver, that time receiver may not going to have attention to that kind of conversation or communication. So these are also some barriers to the communication. Next is differences in perception and viewpoint. So difference in perception. If sender perception is different, if the receiver views in his point of view or his experience, it is communication will not going to be reached as intended by the sender. So this is also one of the drawback or barrier to the communication. Next one is physical disabilities such as hearing problems or speech difficulties. So these are some other barriers. And next is physical barriers to non-verbal communication, that is not being able to see the non-verbal cues, gestures or postures, generally body language. It can make communication less effective. When we take conversation in the phone call is not effective when we have communication face to face. So this is also some physical barriers. Next, language differences and the difficulty in understanding unfamiliar accents. Language differences, as I said, and difficulty in understanding the unfamiliar accents. Unfamiliar accents means if we have listened to some foreign expert speech, it is not able to understand first time whenever we hear, so we need to hear again and again. So that is accent. Our Indian accent is different, and US accent is different, as well as some Caribbean people accent is different. So accent also play important role in communication. If they are not going to understand, then it is going to be barrier. Next one is expectations and prejudice. So here in this type of barriers, what we can see, it may lead to false assumptions or stereotyping. What receiver going to do, he assume, not going to listen what sender saying exactly, he assumed it himself and come into decision or take into actions. People often hear what they expect to hear rather than what is actually said and jump to incorrect conclusions. So this is play very important role in affecting the communication if there is expectations and prejudice in the communication. Next one is cultural differences. Cultural differences. So culture also play a very important role. We can say some community culture may difference from other community. You can say Christian cultures and Hindu cultures, Muslim cultures. So their practices are different. So these are also play some barriers in communication. These are some common barriers. Then let's see some categorization in barriers. So first one is a categorization of barriers to communication, language barriers. So in language barriers we have, when communicating in the same language, the terminology used in a message may act as a barrier if it is not fully understood by the receiver. So the terms whichever we are going to use should be understood by the receiver. This is also very important. Sender should be aware regarding which type of words he is supposed to use. The understanding level of the receiver, sender should be know. For example, a message that includes a lot of specialist terminology and abbreviations will not be understood by a receiver who is not familiar with the terminologies used. As I said, if sender used some abbreviations and some high specialist terminologies, these are not going to be understood by the receiver if he is not well known of such kind of abbreviations and some terminologies. So in language barrier it exists. Sender should be know about all these things. Next one is psychological barrier. In psychological barriers, the psychological state of the communicators will influence how the message is sent, received, and pursued. So, someone is stressed, they may be preoccupied by personal concerns. If a person have a stress based on some heavy hectic works or heavy schedules in his day-to-day works, he may occupied by personal concerns and not as received to the message if they were not stressed. If they are in the normal, if the receiver is not stressed, he receive message as it is. If he is not in a normal, he is in the stress situation, he is not going to receive the message as it is intended. So this is also psychological. Some factors also play a very important role. Sometimes anger also play a very affect the communication. And the next one is physiological barriers. Physiological barriers includes communication may result from the receiver's physical state. Physiological barriers to communication may result from the receiver's physical state. For example, a receiver with reduced hearing may not be fully grasp the content of the spoken conversation, especially if there is a significant background sounds. Some people hearing decreases as they grown and become age-old persons. That kind of situations, if there is a noise surrounding the person, he may not be hear message clearly. This is one of the barrier for communication in the physiological barriers. Next is physical barrier. So an example for this physical barrier to communication is geographical distance between the sender and receiver. How communication is generally easier over shorter distance, as more communication channels are available and less terminology is required if they have less difference between them. So this is also one of the barrier. Next one is attitudinal barriers. In attitudinal barriers are behaviors or perception that prevent people from communicating effectively. In attitudinal, what we can see, personality conflicts. Some people may have some conflict between each other. Poor management also play an important role in not having a communication effectively or barriers to the communication. If there is a poor management in the organization and resistance to change, this is very important. So if a employee in the organization not ready to accept or ready to apply the changes take place in the organization, this is also disturb the communication process in the organization, or lack of motivation, also one of the barriers to communication. These are communication barriers. So next one, important measures to overcome the barriers to the communication. What are those? Let's see one by one. First one is clarify ideas before communication. So when a person sending the communication should be clear, should be very clear in his mind about the message, what he wants to say. So if he is clear with the message he wanted to say, he should know the objective of his message, and therefore he should arrange his thoughts in a proper order. If he clear about his message, he definitely going to reach the receiver very effectively. So that's why the clarification of ideas before communication is very important. Next one is communication according to the need of the receiver. as I said already in barriers to the communication, communicate according to the need of the receiver. What we can see here, the sender of the communication should prepare the structure of the message not according to his own level or ability to understand the message, but he is supposed to frame the message or structure the message according to the understanding level or environment of the receiver. Then it is going to be effective. Next is consult others before communication. So it is very important. Ask some suggestions from peer groups or contributors of the message at the time of planning the communication. So suggestions should be invited from all the persons concerned. Then the message is going to be effective. Next one is be aware of language, tone and content of the message. It is also very important, as the sender should take the care of the fact that message should be framed in a clear and beautiful language. So it will attract the attention of receiver or reader. The tone of the message should not be injure the feelings of the receiver. Yes, so it should not be hurt to the receiver or reader of the message. As far as possible, the contents of the message should be brief. If it is a brief, it will take less time of the reader and he give 100% attention to the message. So excessive use of technical words should be avoided. Then message should be very effective and there is feedback happens successfully. Next one is convey things of help and value to the listener. The subject matter of the message should be helpful to the receiver. So whatever the information needed to the receiver should be sent or conveyed to the receiver. So it is helpful to the listener to understand the message. The need and interest of the receiver should be specially be kept in mind. So it is going to make successful communication. Next one is ensure proper feedback. So there should be a feedback. If there is no feedback, then you are not able to get a confirmation of the communication is or the message is reached as intended by the sender. So attention, patience and positive attitude are very important in listening. So be a good listener. When you are a good listener, you are a good speaker or you are a good communicator. So when we have a listen very attentively, very patiently and positive attitude while you are having listen to the message, you will become a good speaker or good information communicator. So these are the some important measures to overcome the barriers to the communication. So this is all about communication and definition of communication. All we have discussed in this first module, and types of communication, as well as barriers to the communication and some important measures to overcome the barriers to the communication. So thank you very much.